Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to share this little project with you today using these Dollar Tree concrete pumpkins. Now I got these in a case of 24, so there are 3 different sizes that come in the case. So you can go to dollartree.com and look for these before they're gone. And so what I'm going to do is take a few of these and stack them together and then make those cute little snowman shapes. I know a lot of people do this with actual pumpkins, so I thought, hey, this would be a really good idea. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is prep these by removing some of the stems from the top of the pumpkins. So I've kind of laid some of these out. Some of these are stacked 3 high and some of them are stacked 2 high. So I'm just simply taking a hammer and I'm just going to just carefully chip away at that stem. Now you can keep the ones that are on the very top, so just plan these out. Of course, if you're just wanting to do a couple of these, then you can just pick up whatever sizes you need. Now this is that more of a squattier, the bigger size in diameter pumpkin, but again, these are kind of a concrete material. So once you have that done, then we're going to start stacking these together. Yep, as you can see, I went into my husband's stash in the shop and pulled out his liquid nails. I just really wanted to make sure that these stuck together. These are very, very heavy pumpkins, so I knew that I needed an adhesive material that was really going to stick together. And now that I have these done and I've had them done for a few days, and I've kind of moved them around, I do know for sure that the liquid nails works very, very good for this. There may be some other kind of material. You could try E6000 if you wanted to try something like that. But if you could get a hold of the liquid nails, I do know from experience that this is a very, very good adhesive for this project. So I'm putting a pretty good layer. Probably don't need quite that much on there, but just kind of do it like you would icing or something like that. And then as you smush these together, you can just kind of take a wet paper towel and maybe a pencil or something and just kind of wipe in between, just to remove that excess before it's completely dried. Okay, after allowing 24 hours for that liquid nails to dry in between my pumpkins, I have come back and started painting each of the set of pumpkins with the Waverly White chalk paint. You can also use acrylic paint, just regular acrylic paint if you wanted to do that. Of course, the chalk paint just gives it more of a matte look, and it gives it a little bit more of a tooth, I think. So I went in and applied 3 coats of paint to each stack of pumpkins. And then on the bottom, you could paint the bottom too, but I went back and added just a small piece of felt on the bottom of those. And then it's up to you too if you want to paint that stem. Okay, so now that all of my chalk painting is done, I'm going to come back with a Folk Art white wax. This is another product that you can also pick up at Hobby Lobby, Joann's. I actually picked this up at Amazon, so that is an option for you as well. here is what one looks like painted with the white wax after it's been completely wiped off. So you will need a good stipple brush, and there is one that is sold by Folk Art that is for the white wax, so I would suggest that, or more of a stiff brush. So you're going to need that, and you're going to need like a damp paper towel to kind of help to wipe off the excess. So I'm going to get started and show you how that you'll need to apply that. And the main thing with the white wax is it just kind of gives a shadow, or just kind of picks up on the little indentions in whatever you're applying the white wax to. So something that has a lot of detail will really showcase that and pick that up. And it just really gives it a really pretty, kind of an antique look, really popular in all of the farmhouse decor and different things like that. So, and when you're working with the white wax too, you will want to work pretty quickly in wiping that off. So go ahead and have your damp paper towel ready, and that way you can just start wiping that off pretty quickly. So here we go. I'm going to show you how we're going to start applying that. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my damp paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe against the grain, so against the lines of the pumpkins, because you don't want to wipe the white wax out of the creases. So just kind of wipe against that. And really you can leave as much on as you want. You can wipe, you can dab it, just however you want to do it, just depending on how much white wax you want to leave. Now notice too, you'll want to notice that the white wax when it's dry will be a little bit darker. So keep that in mind too as you're starting to rub some of this away. Okay, I have all of my pumpkins turned into snowmen now. I have allowed all the paint and everything to dry, and you'll notice here on the bottom, everything but the face portion of the snowman was glittered. So I just used Mod Podge and a chunky glitter and glittered the bottoms of the body. I made the felt hats. I used some pink chalk just to chalk on the cheeks, and then some black acrylic paint for the eyes. And I just made the nose using a piece of felt, and I'll show y'all how to do that too. But that's what the tall guy there looks like. I really like the way the glitter looks too, but that is totally optional. If you're anti-glitter, then just skip that part of it altogether. You can also use a really fine glitter, but the chunky glitter is what I had on hand. And then here is just some of the detail on the hat. And I'm going to show y'all how I put the hats together. And about a 3-inch hat is about what you're going to need, or a 3-inch die for the base of the brim is what I used for the hats. So in addition to that 3-inch piece that you'll need for the brim, you'll also need about a 1.5-inch circle for the top, and then a strip. And really the strip is just how tall you need that is how tall you want the top hat to be. So that's about 1 1/4, 1.5 inch on the circle part there, and then the strip that you're going to need just enough to go around the circle. So just cut a little strip there, and then all I'm doing here, and if you want to use a fabric glue you can, but I just found that using a hot glue just tended to work a little bit better. And so I'm first going to take my largest circle here, and I'm going to cut a small hole into the center of that. So I'm just going to fold this in half. And I don't want the brim to come down too far over the eye, so I'm not cutting this directly in the center, but you'll notice I'm folding it about right there. So just depending on how far your eyes are up, that's about how far you want the brim to come. So just make a small circle there, that way it can slip across or over that stem. So just like that. And then you'll want to build the top part of your hat onto that. But first you're going to attach that band to the circle. And again, I'm just using some hot glue. So we'll carefully start adding that together. Okay, now for the carrot nose, and what I am using here is a die that is kind of shaped, is actually a belly part of a bear that I had in my stash, but any kind of almost triangle shape that you can have, or you can just freehand cut this however you want to do that. And right here I'm die cutting this piece right quick so I can show you. I'm just using just a standard acrylic orange felt, and you'll notice here some of the felts are easier to die cut and some die cuts are better and not so good for felt. So just depending on the die and the felt, you may need to trim away, but at least it gives you a good guide of where to cut. So this is what one of the noses is going to look like, and it's not quite as long as the piece of felt here, so just however long you want your carrot nose to be will be great. So I'm just grabbing some orange thread from my stash, and then we'll just start to sew this little guy together. Okay, you'll notice here that all I'm going to do is start to fold this piece kind of into a shape of a carrot. So just starting with my point down at the bottom, I'm going to run my needle through the end, and what you'll want to do is just make a running stitch. So I have decided to use the stitched part as the bottom part of the nose, so this will be underneath, so it won't be showing. But depending on how much you pull this is going to determine if you have a little crooked nose that's turned down or a nose that's turned up. So however you want to stitch this will shape your noses different. So as you can see, I've started there with a couple of stitches, and then into the bottom of this, I'm going to add just a couple of small pom-poms to the inside. This just will help to keep the shape of the nose, but if you have some just a little bit of pieces of paper kind of balled up, just really whatever you want to put inside of that, you can. And then a kind of a little bit bigger pom-pom. So 2 different pom-poms I've put inside, and then I'm just going to finish sewing that up. Just using my running stitch there and sew that together. And then when I get to the end of that pom-pom, I am going to complete my stitch. So that's how long that will be. So I'm just going to finish that off, knot off that thread, and then cut away the excess felt. Okay, so here you can see how far down I cut that off, and I actually just use a dab of hot glue inside of the end of the nose to attach that to the face of my pumpkin. So here's a final look at just a few of our snowman pumpkin people. For the arms, I did use a paper covered wire that I picked up from Amazon, and I just attached those to the back of the body with some hot glue, and then just tied on some different little banners that I made using a punch. Added some ribbon bows and some bells, and just use whatever makes you happy. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks for stopping by.